just trying to put his fist in his own mouth. What the fuck was that about?
Right, so this week we're going to speak about...
You started with...
Are we speaking?
Yeah.
Alright, okay.
Yeah.
This week we're going to speak about... Sorry for this episode not being great, by the way. We're just...
To be honest, they're all pretty mediocre.
We're not really prepared.
I just want to get home and play GTA. I'm not gonna lie.
Why are we back there again? We literally said we weren't going to talk about GTA.
Right, shut up. Everybody shut up. This week we're going to speak about, as our main topic, if we think the British, not any other country, just point this out now, prison system
Can we not include...
is pooey.
Can we not
and
include the
shitty
EU
and broken.
The EU and America in this?
We can bring them up, but we're speaking about Britain here, Neil.
Yeah, but...
Britain.
Britain's is
Little
alright.
Founded in 1870, lost again in 2004, and rediscovered in 2006. That was a genuine opening to Little Britain, and it was great.
But the British prison system isn't that bad.
Yeah, but I don't like everybody who seems to think it's like some like holiday home.
Oh no, I don't think it's like that though.
You do?
No,
think?
I don't think it's like that.
Eh?
I know that it's not like that.
Oh,
Like obviously,
yeah,
like
that's
your petty prisons, I think, they shouldn't have any sort of like luxury.
Amenities.
They shouldn't have anything like that.
But then...
Even though they have just stole a Mars bar or something like that.
No one's going to jail for stealing a fucking Mars bar.
I know. I know we weren't going to speak about other countries, but I know that in India they do get like their hand chopped off if they do steal.
No, that's not
anything
India. That's
from the
Saudi
shop.
Arabia.
Well, the same.
Not the same. Not the same, Daniel.
Not the same.
I'm getting you a fucking atlas.
How the fuck is like crime over there still going if the deterrent is if you steal anything, whatever it is, your hand gets chopped off?
Yeah.
No one would
To
do it.
be fair, they can only chop off the one hand.
No, they
and then
can't.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're fine.
Now you can't
Now
steal.
you're just stumpy.
Then you just steal with your stumps. Just
Stab
but
it
you're
with
gonna
your-
do that.
Become the world's
Like a-
greatest boxer.
A pile of money between the stumps, just running away. It's going,
Why can't I hold all these lemons?
stealing lemons?
But yeah, like
Go on, Daniel.
I'm just gonna say I think capital punishment should be back.
Oh,
Why?
you're wrong.
Why? Just state your point. Why?
Well, like for a life, and
That
and personally, I think
Not in the schools.
and
It's
I
just
think-
as long as the parents do it at home.
and I
yeah.
think as long as you've like, surely there's technology now that you can find out that it's exactly that.
there's
person.
not clearly.
Surely.
No, it's not.
There's
because it's
not
still-
clearly because someone just came out this fucking week that they'd been innocent this whole not this week but 2 weeks ago or something that they'd been innocent this whole time, and if there had been capital punishment he would have been dead by now.
Forensic
Yeah.
evidence is still very sketchy.
Yeah, but
It's not CSI.
Yeah.
well, they should kind of think
There's
of doing
sperm
something
bank
like
that they can trace. There's
Every
semen on
Yet.
There's no semen on every crime scene, so it's kind of hard to work out who people are.
But I think that's the vision for the government in what 2020.
Yeah.
You know,
I-
everyone will know.
I could live in a world where there was semen on everything.
You already do.
In my world, it's really
But no,
bad.
did you know? I've come to this discussion armed with facts, so you guys should just prepare yourself.
Wait, you've readied this?
I have
Didn't
readied
give
this.
anyone else time to prepare. You
I
were
did.
just like,
You were told we were speaking about this 2 weeks ago.
I wasn't.
So,
what are your facts?
yeah, did you know more than 70% of the British prison population suffer with a mental health disorder as a result of being in prison? And so
Institutionalized.
that means when they get released, it is harder for them to readjust to
What-
normal life.
Well,
What a shame!
What kind
they
of
shouldn't have
mental?
done the crime in the first place.
What a shame!
It's
So
called
if you go to,
institutionalised, Neil.
let's say you speeded 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, and you got a wanker judge who sentenced you to prison, you come out for doing that fucked in the head
Yeah,
for
but
being
you're
in
not gonna
prison.
get
No,
that
shut up and
long.
let me finish. You come out fucked in the head
With
for
a
being in
gaping
prison,
asshole.
and guess what? Now you can't get a job because you can't bear being out in the public, and you're just fucked in the head because you've been sent to prison. And how is that fair?
So you reoffend.
Well,
go
but
back.
If you do a crime that you can very easily atone for, why should you have to suffer like that?
Oh no, but you're not going for going 5 miles over the limit.
I know.
You're not, wait,
You did
wait.
clearly didn't listen to
No,
what
what
I
I
said.
said,
If you
you're going to
hadn't-
get a wanker judge, but you're not going to get put to jail for that long for that.
No,
Maybe get
it was a
6 months.
shit example. You know what I mean.
6 months.
If you went to
Just for a
prison
petty crime.
for a
I
petty
could go to
crime,
jail for 6 months.
well,
No,
let's
I
do
don't
it
want
6
to.
months.
I think you should, you should stand by your statement, and you should, you should
Go in jail for
yeah,
6 months.
and then you might have a different opinion.
I said I could, but I don't want to.
Well, I don't think you could, so I
Could
wouldn't.
not-
I
I
wouldn't
wish I
agree.
could.
Yeah.
The whole point of prison is rehabilitation. It's not about.
But that's not what happens.
Yeah,
It's not what happens
people
in
come
prison.
out. There's a fucking reoffending rate. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So if
There
people,
was- I was
people-
watching-
and that's what I mean. So people seem to think it's like amazing in there, but it can't be that fucking good if people come out fucked in the head.
It depends on what prisons we're obviously talking about.
But like, I was watching that like Coppers program. And there was a guy that was been jailed 27 times, and I was like, holy shit.
Well, he's
Just
clearly
because,
fucked up.
but it's just because he gets drunk all the time and just does whatever he wants. Like he goes and smashes windows, so he goes back into
Do
jail.
you know what
But he
the-
clearly
for
has
6
some
months.
problem. if
Do you know what the
he's getting
suicide
drunk
rate
all
is
the
in
time.
normal society?
I don't know.
9 people in every 100,000. Do you know what it
That's
is?
surprisingly low.
Do you know what it is in prison? 143 people
Out
out of
of
100,000.
Yeah, but
That's
in
still
my eye,
pretty
well,
low out of
if you're
100,000.
talking about suicide as well, I think that's like I think they're selfish, to be honest.
We're not speaking about that.
Alright,
though.
no, we're not talking about that.
We're not speaking
I'm
about that
leaving.
right now, though. We're speaking about the
Fucking
fact
damn it.
that people are then more likely to just fucking kill themselves.
Yeah.
in prison.
Well, that's kind of like what's happened like since the dawn of time. You know, you're stuck in there for like ever, and you're like, you know what? End this if I killed myself.
Yeah, but that's what
Yeah.
my point is. It's not as good as people like to make it out to be. And like the fucking Daily Mail love to think that prisoners are like 5-star holiday makers because the Daily Mail are
When
fucking
they're really shit.
retards.
Because that's the thing. People think that, oh, you see these TVs and all these kind of stuff, and you're like, oh, they're getting on these stuff all the fucking time. But they're in there, most of the time, they're in their cell. There's maybe like an hour or two a day where they get out. Because if you didn't have that hour or two a day and you were just in a cell for years, you would go mental.
Yeah.
You think about that. But yeah, it's not...
I don't think they're confined in their cell for like 2 hours. Like no, I'm saying like they're not. They get out of their cell like more than for 2 hours.
No, I'm talking about...
Like,
I'm
you're
talking
in your
about
cell
like,
more
main
than you're out
ones.
of it.
Yeah, but you like you know what you're saying. Like they only get
It's
2
not
hours
petty
to
crime.
breathe.
No,
Yeah.
like for some of the prisons get to.
But the problem with British prisons right now isn't the fact that anything like that. Is they're fucking overcrowded. They're all overcrowded.
Yeah.
Like hugely.
Maybe we should just send them all to like a penal colony and just have them mine stuff, you know, and then
And
send
then
them back to
eventually they
well.
become their own country,
I was
Australia.
gonna say, isn't that just what happened with Australia? Where would we
Unfortunately,
send them to?
unfortunately, colonialism's frowned on in the world society we live in. You can't just go around building empires anymore.
Well, most people in Australia are like direct
Descendants of criminals.
murderers
Well, just like-
and
like-
rapists. And,
Well, I'm not saying Britain, but if we were like the Soviet Union, we could just dump them in Siberia and then like have them, you know, do something productive.
You can walk. If you find your way back, you can live.
Yeah, but you won't.
just drop them off in like the middle of a desert. And just be like, if you get back.
Siberia's not quite a desert.
No, I mean like just in a place.
With an
Like
espresso amount
Sahara.
of water. Like an espresso size amount of water.
espresso size.
Yeah.
That'd
Drop
be
to
good.
start
them into like
drinking
the
But
salt
no,
lake.
the reason I don't think capital punishment is because nowadays the most what's the word I'm looking for? The crimes that would most likely be handled by capital punishment would be things like terrorism acts, but
Yeah.
in that case you're really, really risking making dangerous martyrs out of people if
Yeah.
you kill them. Whereas if you keep
That's
them
why
in a
they don't
fucking
do
prison and let them rot,
That's why they don't do it.
yeah.
Even in America, they don't do that.
Whereas
Even
if
with
you-
the terrorists, they just lock
Yeah,
them
well,
up.
look at the Boston bombers. Well, Boston
What?
bomber.
no one's dead.
No, there was 2 of them, yeah.
Yeah, but well,
But one of them is dead, so. But the other one, they're.
Can't talk because they
Yeah.
shot him through the throat. Well done,
Yeah.
America.
I don't know. Maybe in the future you can have one of those things, you know, that raises voice.
why did you do
Like
it?
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Or Soviet.
But,
For Soviet Russia.
no.
Chechnya.
Probably one of the people
So
who's
it'd
gonna
be
fight
for
again.
anything
That makes a
against
lot.
Soviet
Yeah.
Russia.
That makes a lot less sense
Yeah.
than all the ideas we've been coming up with in our head. Why Soviet Russia?
but also, Massachusetts doesn't have capital punishment, anyway.
Can't
No,
believe
no,
it. Massachusetts.
Britain only got rid of capital punishment for high treason like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Until then, if you
What kind of
were
act classifies as high treason?
trying to kill
nowadays?
the
Try to
family.
kill, the royals.
Let's do it.
Well, you can't get punished by death anymore. So I mean,
Exactly.
No, but you could, you know, spend
I'm
the rest of your
surprised
life
there
in a
wasn't some
hell.
kind of fucking
I'm pretty sure
attempt
that
on the Queen's life during the royal flotilla or something, because that would have been like.
I'd rather
easy
stay
as
off this.
shit
I'd rather
there.
stay off this topic. Just
Yeah.
it's on dangerous ground.
Well, I've always thought that. I've always not.
If you're listening, MI5,
Look,
I
that's-
challenge you.
like for the whole things with like major dictatorships and all that kind of stuff, I've always thought why, like, if we say for example Robert Mugabe, why isn't
Yeah.
some just crazy fucker in the crowd just been like, fuck it?
Well,
Yeah,
They
Yeah.
shot him.
because they probably
Yeah.
took away all the white people's guns, Neil.
It'd be so easy just to shoot the guy. or just any dictator.
But I'm pretty
it's that easy, Neil. Why don't you do it?
Yeah, challenge accepted.
Because mercenaries aren't a legal thing.
I know. I wish I could make like a mercenary company. You know how much money you'd make.
Amount of people that.
Well, actually, there is mercenaries.
There is been people that have set up illegal.
They're private security. Like there's one called Black something. They operate a lot in Iraq.
There's one that shut down because they made a game about it. Basically they had such a shit reputation.
You can play as them in Arma.
Can you?
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of them trying to get into South Africa to get. Like, that's the thing, but our own government stopped them. Like they got caught trying to get into there with weapons and stuff to take out someone.
You guys keep speaking.
Not our government. It would be South African government.
No, they were stopped by. It wasn't. I like to say a story that wasn't that long ago. It was when I was reading about all the apartheid stuff.
Oh, so it's apartheid, not with Robert. When you say Mugabe when he was first coming to power, or like these later years, or are you not talking about Mugabe?
No, I was talking about Mugabe. It was I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago or something, maybe.
Because I don't think we had apartheid then.
No, I read about. Oh, what? No, I'm not talking about the apartheid thing. I'm talking about. Wait, I've lost what we were talking about.
Well, I've lost what you were talking about. You were saying like people stopping them from coming over the border in South Africa. Our government.
Yeah, they stopped. Like they caught them going over with guns and stuff. Like obviously, if you catch a boat full of guns and our government finds that, they're not going to let them just go off with it. Just be like, oh, you're going to kill Mugabe? All right, on you go with all those guns into Africa.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
There's guns in Africa?
No, there's no guns in Africa. It's a myth.
Mm.
But the
It was just like pretend guns that were shooting people in Kenya.
The British prison system isn't that bad. It's the American one that's really bad.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing about the boy on League of Legends.
Yeah.
Making that comment. Like someone called him like creepy and freaky, and he was just like, oh yeah, I'm totally like fucked up. I'm just gonna go up to a school and like shoot all the kids and eat their hearts. And then went lol. And the police arrested him, and he's still in jail. And he's been in jail since like the start of 2013.
Well,
he's been in like solitary confinement and all that kind of stuff.
When he gets
getting
out,
tortured.
When he gets out, he's gonna get a massive lawsuit.
Yeah, but when he gets out, he's been tortured in prison for
just raises the amount the state has to give him.
Well, I don't.
There's definitely torture like still around though. Like
torture's a useless form of getting information.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like
no, it's not.
No, it is.
At some point, someone will say anything.
That's why it's a useless form of getting information from someone. Because if you're like threatening to chop off someone's fingers, they're literally just going to be like they're going to tell you anything to stop you from.
Yeah, but unless if they came to the point where they know that they're going to die, like then they won't say anything. Because you do get people that will accept
the torture.
What about it?
The fact that it's a stupid form of getting information from people.
Well, it works, so clearly not.
It doesn't work all the time. It's a very bad way of doing it, because like I was saying, if you're threatening someone with their life and they're not wanting to spill the information, they're just going to tell you anything so you don't do
certain torture methods aren't going to kill them, really.
No, but just
look at that one in Casino Royale. That is the worst for a guy.
There's a lot
worse for everyone, let's be
waterboarding
honest.
Horrible.
Waterboarding, you probably won't die, but you'll feel like you're going to. Over and over and over again.
Well, I saw a video on YouTube of like this guy.
You waterboard someone in GTA.
We're not bringing up GTA again. And he was at like some sort of like convention or something. I don't know why they were like there was like a torture booth set up or some shit.
Probably a porn.
But he was they were like displaying what waterboarding was and stuff like that. And he asked if they could do it to him. And they literally did it for 2 seconds. And the guy was like, blah, blah, like proper like trying to throw up. It'd be horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible.
It was in
because when you try and breathe in, there's a cloth over your face, so it just goes down your fucking mouth.
Yeah, so you just feel like you're drowning.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah, no, I get what you mean.
The one where you put the cloth over the mouth and pour the water.
Yeah, no, I knew that, but I was trying.
They do it in that. Remember when you film Safe House?
Yeah,
that's a good. That's an A film.
Denzel Washington,
Ryan Reynolds.
Denzel just never.
Denzel Washington was an asshole. No wait, no.
No, he was a cool guy.
He was the bad guy again.
The corrupt, it's always the corrupt government official.
Yeah.
That guy. What's his name again? He was... crap. No, it wasn't Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's the guy that looks like Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is a funny name, yeah.
Do you even know who he is?
No.
I don't even know what to say to describe Philip Seymour Hoffman. He was...
Seymour Hoffman?
What's a film he was in? Let's get off Philip Seymour Hoffman. You were away, Andrew. Any thoughts?
On
What?
torture, prison
We're
systems?
still talking about the prison system.
Yeah.
Well, but I've said everything. It's
Well,
me who's basically
you only
said
had one.
stuff.
You only gave out one of your statistics.
I was.
You had
I
lots
gave
of
out
them.
3 statistics.
You gave out 3 statistics.
Yeah, and I've done them all.
You didn't.
Obviously,
come
really.
prepared to this.
Like
Say you
I
came prepared.
Okay,
hear that. Listen to that.
no. The shooting that happened the other day in Chicago. as
We're
well.
speaking about prisons.
Yeah, I know, but I was just saying about statistics as well. Like I read the US ones, and Chicago's taken over New York as well. They've got like 500 deaths in Chicago this year just because of murders.
Chicago's been on top of New York forever. Chicago's the death rate capital of the world.
It's also got a lot of methods.
More people have died in Chicago last year than did in Afghanistan and Iraq combined.
It's the wind. It's the wind.
Makes everyone really angry.
Not picking them up.
No, it's all the meth.
Dropping them.
It's all the meth guys.
Yeah, it is meth.
Yeah.
It's mainly meth.
It's mainly
We
meth.
should make meth.
Apparently it's easy.
It is easy to make, and you get lots of money. I think Clark was like, he was talking about it, and I thought he was jokingly talking about it, and then there was for a second where he like looked away, and I just looked, and I was like, I think he's being serious about this.
Right, once again, MI5.
Yeah, we're not making meth.
Yeah. But if we did, it would be easy.
And it'd be blue.
And we're not.